Duelist Cup going second. My opponent starts by normal summoning Dracotail Lucius. On summon, it adds Phimena from the deck. They follow up by activating Branded Fusion, but I respond by chaining Psyframe Delta and Fuwalos. Delta summons itself and Driver to the field and Branded Fusion is negated. On a new chain, I activate Hop Ear, targeting the level 6 Driver. My opponent responds by chaining Phimena, discarding it to fusion summon using Lucius on the field and Mululu from the hand as materials to bring out Dracotail Arthalion. Off of Fua, I draw Azuna. Hop Ear then summons itself from my hand, and I immediately quick synchro into Axel Stardust. Arthalion triggers to recycle Phimena, and both Lucius and Mululu activate in the graveyard to set Dracotail spell traps directly from the deck. Mululu also has a targeted negate ready. Fortunately, I can chain both effects of Axel Stardust. First, I summon a tuner from the graveyard, then tribute Axel Stardust itself to summon Stardust Dragon, effectively dodging that targeted negate. The chain resolves, Stardust is synchro summoned, and using Stardust together with Delta, I quickly synchro climb into an unaffected Baron de Fleur. Delta is revived back to the field, and Mululu attempts to negate Baron. Meanwhile, my opponent sets Dracotail Ketu and Rahu from the deck, and Phimena is added back to their hand. At this point, I activate K9 Azuna and Bestial Baldrake from my hand. Baldrake targets Mululu in the graveyard, banishing it and summoning itself to my field. Azuna is also special summoned and sends K9 Lupus from the deck to the grave. In the graveyard, Lupus activates and revives itself. Once on the field, it uses its quick effect to SZ summon K9 Ripper. My opponent then activates Rahu, attempting to fusion summon from the deck, but I shut that down using Baron's Omni Negate. They follow up by activating Ketu, adding Dracotail Pan to their hand. Because I control monsters, Ketu's bonus effect allows them to fusion summon using Arthalion on the field and Pan from the hand, bringing out Dracotail Guillemot. Off of Fua, I draw Droll and lock Bird. Pan activates in the graveyard, but I respond by chaining Baldrake, tributing Delta to banish Guillemot. Pan still resolves, setting Dracotail Sting and destroying my Ripper. Since 2 monsters were sent to the graveyard, Arthalion revives itself. My opponent sets 2 cards and passes. I draw Psyframe Gamma for turn. I start by using Baron's effect to destroy one of the set spell traps, trying to avoid Sting. They chain it, targeting Arthalion to bounce it, but it gets banished instead. With that dealt with, I switch all my monsters to attack position. I normal summon Droll and lock Bird, then link Droll and Baldrake into Moon of the Closed Heaven. From there, I link Moon into Fiendsmith Requiem. Requiem activates and special summons Lacrima from the deck. On summon, Lacrima sends Engraver from the deck to the graveyard. I attempt to bait out Sting by activating Requiem in the graveyard to equip it to Lacrima, but my opponent holds their Sting. Next, I activate Engraver, shuffling Moon back into the deck. At this point, they finally chain Sting, banishing Engraver, returning Dracotail Horn to their deck, and drawing a card. I continue by linking Baron and Lacrima into Fiendsmith sequence. Sequence's effect shuffles Lacrima and Requiem back to fusion summon Fusion Lacrima, which on summon brings back the banished Engraver. Then I link Sequence and Fusion Lacrima to summon Fiendsmith Agnum. In the graveyard, Lacrima triggers again, shuffling Sequence back to burn my opponent for 1200 damage. I move to the battle phase. Agnum Day attacks for 1800, followed by Engraver for another 1800. I then activate Agnum Day, reviving Fusion Lacrima, chains Dracotail Flame, negating Agnum Day and removing the attack boost. Fusion Lacrima attacks for 2400, leaving my opponent at just 800 life points. To close the game, I activate Super Polymerization, fusing Engraver and Lacrima into Garura. Garura attacks directly, and that's game.